I think another thing is I found that collaboration is real good, right?
It is.
So
it is.
has there been any collaborative experiences that you've had with other people?
Oh yeah, and it's one about to great come up. I've never done it before, but I'm allowing a new director to come in and because we have 2 new shows coming out next year, 2025. So one show is being directed by me, and then another show is being directed by a new director. So that's a collaboration that I'm very excited about because it gives me a time to, like we just said, recharge, step away, and focus on something else while the audiences are getting 2 new productions in 1 year, which I've never done before.
Gotcha.
So, and then it also, to me, it opens up more creativity so that people are not just only hearing my way of doing things or seeing my way of doing things. They can see someone else's way of doing stuff too. So, which is pretty cool, I feel like.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So I know you do a lot in the community, and that's where you start off at, the churches and everything. So what's been the impact on your relationship with the locals?
Very, I think it's been a good impact. I mean, if it wasn't for the community, I would not be here talking to you about the place today. You know what I'm saying? So it's very important. And they are literally the reason why, you know what I'm saying? You know who I am. Because if they won't come into the shows, I wouldn't be right here talking to you. So it's very, the impact with the community is very important. You know what I'm saying?
So what's it like? Share like a dope moment with me that you had like an interaction with an audience member that you'll never forget about.
So in Roanoke, we was doing a show in Roanoke, and I always shout out my family. So I'm like, at the end, I'm like, okay, my family, can y'all stand up? I thank y'all for coming. I'm loving on them and stuff like that or whatever, right? This guy in the back, I see, because they turn the house lights up, I see where my family is. So I'm looking, I see them. But then this random man in the back, and he's like this, like, don't forget about me. And I'm like, you my family? And he's like, oh, no, my fault. So he like sits down. And I'm like, well, no, go on, stand up now. I mean, you done did all that. Everybody looking at you, go and stand on up. But it was pretty funny in the moment because, like I said, I was looking like, is he a cousin or, who is he? Like, this dude all the way in the back and everybody else in the front. What he doing? But it was pretty fun. At the end, I didn't get a chance to meet him because he had left. Hopefully I didn't really, disrespect him. But that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Interaction. But usually everything else been pretty mild. You know what I'm saying? So nothing too crazy.
Okay. So with artwork, right? Like arts that we do, like whether it's podcast and spoken word, rap music, poetry, it has the ability to bring communities together.
Yeah.
Whether it's everybody watching this podcast right now when it's live.
Yeah.
How does your work do that?
Ask me the question one more time. You don't mind?
Yeah. So how does your work?
You got some good questions. You got some good questions. I'm telling you, these are some good questions. I be like, man.
Yeah, gotta make you think.
These ain't no what's your favorite color? What's your favorite food? I be like Chick-fil-A, red. You know what I'm saying? You ask me questions like, whoa,
gotta make you think.
That part. I'm ready though. I'm ready.
When it comes to like you starting local and now people know you, and like I said, different art forms bring communities together. And so how does your plays do that?
I think because you have people when it comes to the shows, you have people that go to church and people that don't go to church in one space, laughing, having a good time, enjoying themselves, and being fed. So you may have believers, non-believers, you know what I'm saying? You just have a mixture of everything in there, white, black, but just people are there for that 2 hours and they're having a good time.
Is that one of your goals?
Yeah.
To bring those 2 walks of life together?
My thing is this. I feel like at the end of the day, I feel like, I want my productions to be a safe space. You know what I'm saying? So that when people come in, it doesn't matter about, anything like white, black, you know what I'm saying, or whatever the difference might be.
Politics,
just
anything.
Coming in, having a good time, getting fed, and going home, because like I always said, there's room at the cross for everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody. And that's where some people get it twisted, you know what I'm saying? But, for God so loved the world. And that's my thing. Like I really want the shows to be a place where, all is welcome. All is, able to come in and have a good time.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why not saying that I would never do it again, but I tried my best to move them away from the church because I know some people, when you do have events in a church, some feel comfortable, some don't.
Yeah.
So
kind of lose out on the audience a little bit.
You lose some of the ones who, you really want to feed, those who don't get fed any other way.
Yeah.
And I want to put it in a place where people can come and they don't feel the pressures of, oh, it's in a church. I've had a bad experience, with the church 10 years ago. I don't feel comfortable, which is fine. But, I still want to be able to feed them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I want to be able to encourage them, inspire them, and show them the love of Christ. So, yeah. Let me dial back. You should go to church.
Yeah.
I said it's fine, but you should go to church though. But
Yeah.
I mean, that's it.
So how important is it to have, and I think we touched on this on the radio show episode a little bit.
Yeah.
How important is it for there to be other mediums of, church content? Not just your typical pulpit and sermon.
It's important. It's very important because of the fact that everybody don't get fed the same way. Everybody don't come in contact with Jesus the same way. So you have to be unique with what you're giving, you know what I'm saying, to people who are lost. So you can't, and I love preaching. I do. But everybody may not feel the same way I feel about that. You know what I'm saying? So you have to be, when it comes to reaching, lost souls, you have to be creative with it.
Yeah.
And so you just can't be like, well, this is the way it's going to be. And that's only the way it's going to be. You got to find different ways to reach people, And now some of the ways I've seen is kind of like, okay, a little different, but I mean, you got to be unique with it. And, as long as you're not losing the meat of what you're doing.
Yeah.
I think.
The essence of it.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So.
Okay. So going back to the beginning, you started off singing.
Yeah.
And you started writing plays, right? So do you blend those two together? Like you have some people singing?
Oh, singing, yeah.
Singing, doing the plays?
Am I singing in,
No.
No.
Yeah. So you do blend those two art forms together?
I do, yeah. And I got some great singers in the shows. And yeah, it's some really, we do music as well, with the plays and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So we try to blend them.
So tell me the impact on one art form on the other. So like when you're developing your plays, your creative process.
Right. Well, I mean, like I said, blending them is not hard at all. Because like I said, when I'm writing a show, I can kind of hear what songs would be best for the show or whatnot. And then I got a great band, you know what I'm saying? So, and they bring all that creativity to life when it comes to me giving in, look, this is what I want, this is what I need, this is the script. So it's not really hard when it comes to blending music and, the shows together. And the thing that I like the most is the pre-show music. Because the pre-show music be really, I mean, that really gets people hyped, you know what I'm saying, to come and see the show. So that's something that I'm picking, you know what I'm saying, to make sure I got the right vibe when they come in so that, we get them in the right, spirit for the show coming up.
So are they playing that live?
So the band's not playing it live. It's just, music that, you hear in the car, you know what I'm saying, your phone, whatnot. So, but music is very important when it comes to the plays because that, I think, can make or break a show.
Yeah, music is almost like an additional character.
It is, yeah. And having the right singers for the songs and having the right, musicians to make sure you're playing the song correctly or right, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, it's very important.
So have there been any specific instances like in your plays where you like the music was just that emotional where it pulled the audience in?
Yes.
And you get some reactions?
At the last show we did at Destiny, Tamika, she did a song, Lord, It's in Your Hands, at the end of the production. And I never forget it. We did it at rehearsal and we knew that it was something special about that song, but we did it. And the last show, I think it was the second to last show or something like that there. And it was a church experience. Like that whole fourth wall was broken. And it was just, they were crying on stage and people, in the audience was standing up. I mean, it was like a church experience. You know what I'm saying? Like people forgot that they watching a play.
Yeah.
And it was just that, it was that involved, And then not only that, it happened in Raleigh too, because she had did a song, it was To God Be the Glory. And that was at the beginning of the show. Wow. And the same thing happened, you know what I'm saying? The Holy Spirit took over. So yeah.